Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. This is Hazel Lucia Tarot. I am your reader, Stephanie, and today's reading is about letting go of old identities and what you will be embracing next. So I was originally going to make this a video about people's first impressions of you, but quite frankly, the eclipse is going on as I'm recording this because I forgot that there was an eclipse today. So what was coming through as I was meditating and channeling was like, no, this is not about first impressions. This is about what we are releasing. So I'm going to kind of combine this reading to let it be about what people perceived about you and what you are letting go and then what you are embracing. And I really love that idea a little bit more. So we have 4 piles here for you today. We have pile 1 with this lovely rose quartz. Pile 2, we have an amethyst point. Pile 3, we have this gorgeous black tourmaline. And pile 4, we have golden healer quartz. So take a moment, take a few deep breaths, embrace this beautiful light that you are about to become, and I'll be ready for your reading whenever you are. Hello there, pile 1. If you chose this gorgeous little rose quartz, then we have a reading here for you about what old identities you are leaving behind, as well as what are you embracing. I'm filming this during the eclipse, and honestly, I was meditating and I forgot what day it was, and I was like, why is the light so low right now? Because it's a little bit dark. You can't really tell on camera because the sun is still out, but it's a little bit dark. We're going to be seeing like people's first impressions of you, and then what you are truly embodying and what you are going to become. Basically, we're going to see like some sort of progression here within your identity and what you are becoming, because you are letting go of old identities. Some identities are just falling off if you're not letting go of them, and you're going to embrace a very new energy. I've had similar readings on my channel before, but this one was very divinely guided. Like, I wanted this to be something else, and it's becoming something entirely different. So let's look at the cards you chose. We have Lakshmi, goddess of abundance. I choose to feel abundant. Wealth is an inside job. And I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. Rabia, the queen of saintly women. I am in service of divine love. I move the way love asks me to move. Which is funny because I was just mentioning that. Like, I wanted to do this reading very differently, and then literally last minute, Spirit was like, no, this is about something else entirely. So there's a combination here of you following your intuition, following your divine guiding, as well as embracing abundance. And it doesn't necessarily have to mean financial abundance. I feel like this is an abundance of life, really living life to its fullest, embracing everything joyously, living every day. I hate saying it this way, but living every day like it's your last, living every day like it's worth living to its fullest extent is what I'm hearing. I definitely feel that. I'm sorry if you heard that in the background. That was a very loud vehicle. But I feel that you're not going to be afraid to be making waves, to be making, I guess, noise, just like that car in the background. Yep. And it's going back around. But I feel like you're not going to be afraid to let yourself be heard, to let yourself move through life as if you have a purpose, especially if you're used to feeling very small. Because what I'm seeing is, and I feel like I want to put these this way, or maybe the other way, but there's a progression here of you going from somebody who bears this torch, carries this light, and then has this light within themselves. So it's not like you're no longer carrying the light outside yourself. You yourself are becoming the light within yourself, if that makes any sense. We have the rest of your oracles to see what energy you are coming into. We have fear. You're moving out of this energy of fear. You're moving out of the darkness. And mystery. So I feel like mystery isn't so bad, but I feel like some of you are very used to being, I'm seeing hermit energy. You're used to being hidden. You're used to being in the dark, or you have a very mysterious nature about this. And I feel like that itself will never really go away. I feel like you're just becoming a different sort of mystery, if that makes any sense. But you're definitely moving out of the energy of fear. You're moving out of the dark, out of the hidden, out of the unseen. But even though, and this is the thing about mystery, even though you're coming out of the dark and into the light, you are still very much a puzzle, an enigma for other people to find out. Like, that is very inherently within you, and I doubt that's something that will be easily shaken. We also have Achilles, confidence. Yes, you're stepping into this gorgeous, confident power. Some of you might literally be stepping into your masculine energy. I tend to choose masculine cards on purpose here because I like to balance out the feminine and masculine here. I know tarot and oracle cards are very heavily feminine energy based, and spirituality, I think at its best, is usually more feminine based, but I do like to balance out the energies here. And likewise, I feel like you are learning to do so as well in your own way, if that makes any sense. But there's definitely a sense of confidence here, stepping into the world knowing that even though you have your weaknesses, you are aware of them and people cannot hold them against you. We also have Aphrodite, inner goddess. Awaken the goddess within you through dance, self-care, and appreciating your divinity. I almost said appreciating your beauty, so I feel like that's just part of the confidence, because let's face it, Aphrodite knows she is beautiful. She knows she is love embodied. And I feel like that goes along with Lakshmi, because, correct me if I am wrong, I feel like they are both goddesses of love. I know it says the goddess of abundance here, but I've also read Lakshmi as a goddess of love, because love can be abundant. So we are seeing this love, this internal love that you have, the love that goes and flows all around us, as being very abundant. It's not just on the days that you are feeling yourself. It's not just on the days that you're looking good. It's every day, even the days that you feel you are at your lowest, even the days that you are at your weakest. I mean, we have Achilles here, and Achilles is known, I mean, for the namesake of the Achilles heel, the one weakness that people have. And even though he may know he has that, he's still going to go through life knowing that he is otherwise indestructible, that as long as he's aware that his ankles have to be covered and protected, he is indestructible. And I feel like this is going to be the same for you, but in this case, it's going to be your confidence, your inner light, your beauty. And the last card we have, water element, emotion, intuition, and Imam Kolai. Specifically, emotion and intuition are coming through. Some people, well, let's face it, I think society as a whole likes to make us think that emotions are weaknesses, that showing emotions or being guided and controlled, quote, quote, by our emotions is a weakness. But here, I'm really seeing this as being a strength for you, pile one. It's like emotions and intuition go hand in hand. So when we're feeling a very specific emotion, or when we're emoting, it's our intuition guiding us, letting us know that there is something wrong or right, or, you know, whatever the way this emotion is making us feel, that there is something about that. You are learning to live within your intuition, within your light, and this intuition and light is your strength. Your emotions are your strength, pile one. Especially if you consider yourself very water heavy within your astrological chart, or if you're a water sign, it doesn't matter. I feel like regardless, there's a sense here that you're going to learn to view your emotions, your gut feeling, as an absolute strength. And it's part of the reason you can walk through life with confidence. It's part of the reason you're able to walk through life without any fear and with a sense of mystery. Because I'm also seeing mystery as a sense of wonder. Like, you know, everything is a mystery, and therefore it is full of wonder and worth appreciating and loving. And I'm truly loving this energy because, let me see, I'm making sure that it's in the camera. Yeah, the colors, it's funny. It's not that bright outside because it is eclipse, but the light within the camera is still showing very brightly. And I feel like this is how it's going to be. Like, regardless of what it is outside, you're going to carry this inner light within you, pile one. But I'm also noting the colors. I mean, this deck in particular is very red, orange, and yellow. So it's very fiery, but I'm being drawn to the colors here with Aphrodite, this lovely orange color, and Achilles, the gold, the yellow. This is living through your solar plexus as well as your sacral and the root. So something about the lower chakras is coming to light here. I feel like you're going to learn how to better operate from these energies, being grounded, being within your body, and loving and appreciating every aspect of your human self, of your human form. Because sometimes as spiritual people, as spiritual beings, and if you're at a tarot reading, there's a high chance that you are, we can forget that sometimes the human experience is something that we choose to live. It's something that we decided to do, because sometimes we need this kind of life to truly appreciate our spiritual connection. You're very divinely guided. I mean, it's shown here through, I'm thinking of the purple color, the third eye, as well as this water element, the intuition that is coming through. You're very guided divinely. So learning to appreciate the life you currently have, no matter where it is going to better teach you how to walk confidently through the world. It's part of your life purpose, part of your soul's calling, part of the reason you are here to add to this beautiful life that we have, pile one. I truly promise you, you have something amazing and beneficial to offer everybody that you come in contact with. And this is one way that they are seeing you. And I feel like the people who know you, especially if they've known you for a long time, they're going to see you blossom from somebody who was kind of a little bit scared of the light or unsure of it, walking side by side with it, to fully embodying it, fully being one with the light. They're going to see it within you. They're going to see how you glow. They're going to see how you walk with confidence. And I can tell a lot of people are going to be proud of you, pile one, like especially those who have seen your journey, those who have helped you along the way. I truly feel that a lot of your friends, family, loved ones are going to be very proud of where you have gone, especially when they see your inner beauty. Because even though Aphrodite can mean outer beauty, which I know a lot of you are very beautiful on the outside, it's going to be that inner beauty that glows the most. It's going to be that extra, it's that vibe that adds to the outer beauty, you know? And I feel like people are truly going to appreciate this. You're going to choose to feel abundant. Wealth is an inside job. You can take this literally, of course. You may end up making more money, and maybe that will only add to your ease of life. That will only add to the confidence that you have. But mostly, I feel like it's going to be internal before it becomes external, if that makes any sense. I'm going to use the Astro Dice to see anything else that Spirit wants to let through. Okay, we have Neptune. We have, is this the 9th house? Yeah, the dot on the bottom means that it's going to be on the bottom. And Cancer. So I'm not surprised Cancer came through when we have the water element. I love Cancerians because they really allow their emotions to be their guiding force. They're not afraid of expressing their emotions. And because they're able to do this, they're able to allow people to feel safe on a very primal level. When we're little children, when we're babies, you know, we express so much emotion. Doesn't matter what we're feeling. When you've seen kids, you've seen babies, they don't care. They just feel whatever they feel, and they feel it right then and there. It seems inconvenient, of course, from our adult standpoint, but it's also a healthy way for them to express what they are feeling and to show who they are, what they're, you know, what's going on. And I feel like this energy, this Cancerian energy, really allows for this to come through. Because when I think of Cancer, I think of children who just show their emotions without, you know, thinking twice. They just express whatever they're feeling, whether it's frustration, anger, fear, joy. Like, they don't care if it's appropriate to feel it at the time. That's just how they're going to feel. And I'm not saying you're going to do just quite that, pile one, but I feel like you're going to be more open to expressing the emotion or not being ashamed of expressing it. With the 9th house, spiritual expansion, I really do love this. It could also quite literally mean travel. So some of you might be traveling to other places, but I'm also seeing this as an expansion of the spiritual journey, an expansion of your own identity as well. I feel like if you thought there was something out there you couldn't become, think again, pile one, because there's a high chance that you will become something you weren't quite expecting, especially with Neptune here. I love Neptune because it's the planet of dreams. It's the planet of fluidity, the planet of the mysteries and everything that is ethereal, essentially. Spirituality plays a big key in this as well. I am feeling that some of you are going to be okay being a little bit of a shapeshifter, being able from flowing to one kind of identity to another, or from one particular place to another. There's a lot of movement here, and this very reading is very water heavy. I feel like I have a little bit of all the signs here, because with mystery, I think of Scorpio, we have Cancer, we have Neptune with Pisces, because it's Pisces ruler, and of course the water element here. And I truly love this, combined with a little bit of the fire that I'm getting from these particular cards. A combination of water and fire leads to something very beautiful. In fact, I was thinking of this earlier with the solar eclipse, because I was Avatar The Last Airbender. This is when the waterbenders were planning an attack on the Fire Nation, wasn't it? I don't know, something about that. So maybe look into the days of when you will be shining the most, or what days will be better for emotional outlets for those of you who work with astrology or the moon cycles. That's only a suggestion for those of you who were already planning on it or who already do this, of course. Take that as confirmation that you are heading in the right path. But regardless, let's move on to the rest of your reading. We're going to go into the tarot now. Truly loving this energy, whatever it is. I'm going to start with the Audacity deck, and then I'm going to use the tarot. No, wait. I'm doing the opposite. I'm going to start with the tarot, and I'm going to draw the 3 cards for the original things that I said. What people thought of you, what you are currently embodying, what you are letting go. No, what people think of you, what energy you are letting go, and what you are going to embody. Okay. As it happens when Spirit guides you to do something a little bit last minute, And this has been happening a lot more in my readings. I've been learning to go with the flow as opposed to just sticking to a structure. Because look, I love structure. I really do. I am a Taurus. I am full earth sign. And I have something in Virgo. I think it's the vertex. So I do love structure. But lately, when it comes to these readings, I've been going with the flow just to make sure that I'm getting what needs to be said within these readings for you. So for my pile one, let's see, an energy people see you in currently. The sun is coming through again. On today, the solar eclipse day. This is April 8th, by the way, in case it doesn't show in the, because I do pre-record these and I don't release them until like maybe weeks later. All right. An energy you are letting go that you're currently embodying. We have the Six of Wands. You are very victorious. But the way I'm reading this is that you are letting go of things that you thought you once claimed. These are things you were once proud of. And not saying that you're negating them or that you're rejecting them. It's more like, okay, I used to be good at this, but it's time for me to be good at something else. Because I have this victorious energy, this Nike energy. I'm able to recreate this somewhere else. And an energy you are going to embody. Six of Swords, Eos. You are moving on to better things. You're learning to let go of the things that are not for you, even if at one point they were, is what I'm hearing. Because with the Six of Wands and the Sun, I feel like you have accomplished many a great thing, pile one, whether you realize this or not, or you have a lot of strengths. But just because something is your strength doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be good for you for the rest of your life. For example, I'm thinking of sports, and maybe because Nike is here, but think about how athletes, they retire very early on. I mean, they retire in their late 20s, early 30s, which is still just the beginning of life when you think about it. I'm saying that as somebody who's turning 34 soon. Like, I still know that I am young. I still have a lot to go, like a lot to do. But when you hear of, athletes retiring at the age of 26 or something ridiculous like that, it's like they still have a whole lifetime ahead of them. So it's that kind of energy where wherever it was that you were doing, whatever it was that you had in the past, you have not burnt out. Well, maybe you have burnt out about it, but like you have still a whole lifetime ahead of you to accomplish many a great thing, regardless of your age, regardless of where you are. And with the Six of Swords, you're learning to move on from things that were once a highlight of your life. And now you realize that there's going to be new adventures out there for you, new highlights, new things to accomplish, new goals to set. You're going to be just as victorious in them as you were in the past, or maybe at varying degrees of victory, depending on what it is that you are accomplishing. Because I'm seeing that learning to let go is the biggest thing you could learn to do, because it's okay to have dreams. It's okay to have goals. But once that goal is accomplished, or once you have done as much as you can with that goal, we got to move on to different things. We got to move on to different sites, set new sites, essentially. I'm going to go ahead and clarify these with the Audacity deck. I don't know why I was guided to do that, but like I said, I am just following spirit today. And I'm okay with that. I used to think that filming these videos, I had to be extremely organized, and maybe this is the same for you, pile one, which is why I'm sharing this with you. I used to think I had to be extremely organized, and I do to an extent to make sure that everything is right, because sometimes I get like the times wrong in the description and everything. But like when it comes to the actual reading itself, I work best when I kind of just fly by the seat of my pants, essentially. At least that's what I felt, because I feel like the information I get is just fresh and it's something that needs to be heard. Because even though you can channel spirit in a very particular way, sometimes it just wants you to hear something else. So let's clarify the Sun with the Devil. Let's clarify the Six of Wands, Nike. We get 2 cards, the Influencer and Strength. You know what? For some of you, I feel like the influencer will be quite literal within this particular reading. And then to clarify the Six of Swords, the Child. Okay, I love this. I love this a lot, because an energy that people are seeing you in, even though you're very confident, you're very much in your power, you're very much shining brightly, you're making yourself be seen. The Devil energy is letting me know that, much like in the typical tarot deck, because this is the Audacity deck, it's not an actual tarot deck, it could be something that is holding you back. I feel like there is some aspect of your of your I don't want to say ego, because ego can be a good thing, but in this case I feel like it's a little bit too much ego. You've been driving your particular life a little bit due to the fact that other people are watching, especially with the influencer card here. You have been caring a little bit too much about what the outside world thinks about you, or what your peers think of you, what your maybe your career, your colleagues have been thinking about you. And of course, there's nothing wrong with that. We all have to live in a society where we kind of want to come off as a, a good person, a person of good standing. But in this case, I feel like something has been holding you back. And I feel like even people can tell that. Like, people have been wanting to see you shine a little bit more or shine in a different way. But the truth is, you have to let go of the notion that whatever they have to say even matters. And that's what's coming through in the Six of Wands. This is you currently in the air of victory, knowing you have accomplished many a great thing, or at the very least, Spirit is asking you to look back at all the things you have accomplished, all the good things you have done, including those which you thought you would never do, or those which you thought wouldn't be successful. Because with the influencer, some of you could quite literally be on social media or have accomplished many a great thing on social media. But with the strength here, I feel like this was part of your journey so that you could learn how to better handle criticism, so that you could better learn how to handle what people think of you, and how to build that inner strength, that inner courage, really, to live the life you want, do what it is you want, and create whatever it is that you want. Because the influencer, I'm also seeing as a creator, because nobody thinks about the content that we consume on social media as like created content, or at the very least, it's been a new thing that we are starting to see it that way. I think in the early days of social media, we didn't see it that way. We just thought we were posting things. And now it's like, no, it's an actual job. It can be an actual job that brings in lucrative money. So for some of you, this could be the case, of course. For others, it could just be the influence you have on other people, whether you are in a position of leadership or whether you are maybe a mentor, a teacher of some kind. Some of the things you've accomplished have been the things that you have taught other people, the influence, quite literally, that you have had on other people. And you've learned how to better tailor your craft or tailor this particular skill so that it becomes one of your strengths. Because I'm reading some of these cards very literally today. I'm being guided to do that. So this is also giving, of course, the strength card in tarot, taming the inner demon. I'm hearing this particular devil here, learning to tame that inner voice that tells you you are not good enough, or that voice that says you're never going to become XYZ or whatever. No, you have accomplished more than that. You have succeeded in this. Look back at your successes. I promise you, you have some, even if it's just one or two, pile one. I promise you, you have more than you could count. I feel like there's a chance that reflecting back on the things you've done is going to better push you forward and empower you to move on to this next energy of leaving behind the things that just no longer call to your soul, honestly. The Six of Swords is moving on from murky waters onto better ones, going on to safety. And I really do love this energy of you leaving behind, even if it was something good. You can let it go because you know that time, that era of your life is, a chapter that needs to be closed. Just something that happened and now you're on to better things. With the child especially, quite literally, some of you could be becoming parents and having children, but for others of you, this is going to be nurturing your inner child. There is something from your childhood that you've been wanting to do and accomplish for a very long time. And even as I'm tapping into this energy right now, it's literally smack dab in the middle of the heart. I'm getting very emotional and nostalgic. There is something that you've been wanting to do as a child, or since you were a child, that you kind of just, threw to the back of your head because you're like, there's no way I'm ever going to do that or become that. Whatever it is, that Spirit is asking you to tap back into that, because there's a chance that whatever you wanted to do as a kid is something that you want to accomplish now, even if it's just to well, one, nurture your inner child, two, show yourself, teach your inner child, let them know that, hey, you have not been ignored. I was just taking my time to get there. And three, feel emotionally fulfilled. It's going to open up a space within your own emotional heart that has been needing to be filled. I feel like some of you don't realize that by accomplishing this one goal, or setting this one goal even, it could just start from step one. It doesn't matter if you accomplished it or not. I feel like for some of you, you might just have to take the plunge and attempt it. to heal this inner child. Because your inner child isn't going to care how successful you are. They're going to care about how much fun and how much love and passion you are pouring into this, whatever this endeavor may be. For example, let's say that as a kid you wanted to be a ballerina or a painter. Think of the things that kids want to do, cute little simple things. You may think, well, whatever, those are just kids' dreams. No, there's a part of you, pile one, that still wants to do this for some reason. Even, let's say if it is ballerina, take some dance lessons and see how you feel just doing small dance things. For some of you, if, being an artist, a painter, take some drawing lessons, maybe take it up as a hobby, see how you feel. I'm not saying you're going to be super successful in this or that it's going to create a, big major impact, but there's something here about healing your inner child through the things that you wanted to do as a child that is going to open up a door within yourself to something so much better. In fact, I didn't even realize this. She's holding this cute, what is this, a crystal, a sun in the middle of her heart. You're quite literally healing your heart through attempting the things you wanted to do as a kid. Maybe it's, I don't know, like I'm thinking of all the things kids want to do, but that we forget about because we think about taking on, careers that are going to pay the bills or things that are in demand, high demand jobs, things, it's not always going to be what you want it to be. Like, I don't think any child sits there and thinks, I'm going to go into marketing when I get older. They don't think about that, but they do think, I want to be an astronaut. And maybe you get into astronomy and maybe you end up doing something along those lines. And it's going to be very fulfilling to the heart. And it may even add something to the world to benefit it, if that makes any sense. You could end up making maybe a channel or an account about astronomy to help people who are, casually interested in it. But regardless, there is a feeling here that going back to your roots is something that you are embracing. At least that's one of the paths that you will be taking, of course, pile one. Regardless, you're moving on to better things, and that is something you are currently embracing. But let's move on to some closing advice. Also, the number 6 came out twice, so some of you could be a life path 6, which I am as well. I'm technically 33, life path 33, but also the age 33, 33, which is a very fun age to be. But for your closing advice, we have a card from the Letting Go deck by Akal Pritam. I've been overusing this deck because it's my favorite. I'm going to take that one because it flipped up right in front of the screen. Okay, so your mind is a recorder. Let go of all negative, unkind replays and replace them with elevated sounds. Like I said earlier, for those of you who think you've never accomplished anything, look back. I don't care if you have to dig all the way back to elementary school, high school. In fact, because we are dealing with something about your inner child, maybe it's something you succeeded in when you were still in elementary school, when you were still a child. Maybe you won, a talent show with very specific skill, and that was something you were always really good at. Look back at that. I promise you, you have done something in your past that was an achievement. And this is the card that came through, just in case you wanted to see the image. I'm also going to take this one that is right here because it was calling to me. Notice how there's a mirroring image here. It's like this is your old and this is the new version of yourself. You are supported and will have helpers whenever you need them. Let them come. Let your helpers come through. Maybe whatever new endeavor you do will call the attention of somebody very... Sorry for the cut, pile one. But like I said, this new endeavor may call the attention of somebody very important who could maybe further help you along this particular endeavor. I had already selected your cards and I just kept going without realizing that the video had stopped. So what you got from your animal apothecary card was no expectations, number 22. So there's a feeling here that you shouldn't really set anything too concrete or too rigid within this particular endeavor. Like whatever it is that you're going to do next, have no expectations of yourself. You don't have to succeed. You don't even have to have a victory because this is going to be very heart-centered, very heart-focused. It's all going to be about making yourself be very emotionally satisfied and bringing joy into your world or maybe the world of everybody else. Again, don't expect anything of yourself. That way, whatever comes forward, you can just enjoy it as it is. The card that you had from the Rose Oracle The breathing rose, heart healing, emotions, connection, and time eases. Yeah, whatever you're going to do next, it's all going to be very heart centered. There is something here about healing very old wounds that you didn't realize were still there, or whatever you're going to do next, it's going to be about letting go of some very particular energy that was holding you back that you didn't realize was still holding you back. And for a lot of you, for the most of you, it's going to be something from childhood. You could literally be doing some kind of energy work dealing with child trauma. But in this case, I feel like whatever you're going to do next, it's going to heal the heart because it's what is needed within your life. All right. And then I'm going to get another card from the Rose Oracle because I was being guided to do so. The Great Mother, surrender to the mystery, fall into her arms. What did I say about that mystery never falling away? That mystery never really going away because it's embedded within you. It's within you. It's basically lodged within your heart because you enjoy a good mystery. You enjoy embracing the mysteries of life, of love, of the world around us. And whatever this new thing you're going to do, it's probably going to add to that. It's only going to allow you to grow more through this. Whenever I see mothers, I think of nurturing energy. The Great Mother will be nurturing your inner child through the mysteries that she has to offer you. But this is all I have for you, Pile 1. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If any of this resonated, let me know. And if you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next reading. Sending you so much love. Hello there, Pile 2. If you chose this lovely amethyst point, then we have a reading here for you today about what old identities you are letting go of, as well as those you are embracing. So the song in my head for you is Shakira and Cardi B's Punteria, mostly because of the aim. Punteria means aim. And I guess because of the point that you have, I feel like you're aiming for something new or aiming towards something very liberating within your next chapter in life. But let's go ahead and look at your oracles to see where you are at. We have Teresa of Avila, Our Lady of the Interior Life. I trust the answers I find within me. I know that the presence of love is real. Something about tapping into your intuition and following it without hesitation is coming through. And we also have, I have to censor this, Akilanda, the goddess of never not broken. Everything happens for my liberation. I choose to become only more love. So something about embracing your imperfections here is coming through, all while being guided by the answers you find within yourself, as well as living in this energy of love. We have more oracles here for you. We also have Typhon, anger, and rage. Very strong fire energy is coming through right now, particularly Sagittarius. We have Sedna, infinite supply. You are supplied for today and all of your tomorrows. I love this card. It's very beautiful. We have Flow. And the Mystic. I want to say this is censored enough that I don't have to censor it. The Mystic, emotional intelligence, wholeness, and rebirth. Notice how different these first three cards are from these last three. Like, you're stepping from this old mentality or this old notion that you had to be in this angry, very root-centered energy. It's weird. It's kind of like whatever energy you used to be in, even though it was very strong and it was very intense, it kind of held you back. I feel like it's kind of giving me survival mode energy here with whatever it is that you used to embrace. I'm sorry if you can hear the noise in the background. That was a very loud bus. But regardless, pile 2, whatever energy you used to be in, it was a survival mode tactic. I feel like it was an identity you had to take on because of a very particular way of life you were used to, whether that was growing up or whether that was an old relationship or an old job. For a lot of people, it will probably be an old career that had you in a very fight or flight kind of mentality, unfortunately. Regardless of how much money you made, regardless of what was going on, I feel like whatever that environment was, it held you back because it made you have to be in the very defensive mode and like constantly. And instead of being in a more free-flowing, heart-centered nature, it was keeping you in this energy of rage and this energy of anger and just always being on the defense. it's kind of like there's nothing wrong with how much strength you built up in this particular environment, because I do feel like it added a lot to the kind of person you are now. Like, you definitely wouldn't put up with a lot of the crap you used to. But it was holding you back. With the Never Not Broken, I feel like this quite literally could have kept you very physically, I don't want to say broken, but I feel like it definitely drained you. Like, it took so much away from you. It took a lot of your energy, your time, in some cases, maybe even your strength, to the point that you would come home, or you would, leave this person, a situation, come back to your space, and you wouldn't have time for anything else. It didn't add as much as you thought it did, if that made any sense, especially if it was a job, especially if it was a high paying job. Because I feel like, yes, it can make you a lot of money, but what was it taking away in its stead? Like, I feel like for a lot of you, yes, it gave you the money, but you weren't really living. You weren't really doing anything else with your life other than eating, sleeping, waking up to a new work day, eating, sleeping, waking up to a new work day. And there is something here about the interior life makes me think of the home life. I feel like some of you may have been able to afford a really nice home, but you weren't even spending enough time within it because, again, of the demands of this particular energy, this job, these people, whatever it is that you used to be in. Because let's face it, there is something about you that is very, even if you are a high energy person, because I see this a lot within the workplace, they will take advantage of the people who have so much energy to the point that they no longer have the energy that they used to have. It's happened to me. You can ask anybody who knows me. I have a lot of energy. I can get a lot accomplished. I don't like to sit around and do nothing. So when I am in a work environment that takes so much from me that all I can do is sleep and eat and go back to work, that's how you know they are taking advantage of you. That's how you know they're taking advantage, because it's almost like, even as I'm tapping into this energy, it's not allowing me to really get a clear sense of who you are. All I can see is this very particular environment or these people. In some cases, it might just be the people you work with that are doing this to you. It could be like your bosses, your managers, whomever it is that is trying to basically exploit you. This is what this is. It's exploitation. And it's kept you in this angry mentality of fight or flight. And quite honestly, it's something that needs to be let go. Like, you have to let it go, pile 2. You have to let it go, because what is awaiting you, this new identity of being the mystic, being emotionally in tune with what you need, not just emotionally intelligent, because I feel like you already are, or at the very least you're getting there. You need to be in the energy of feeling how you feel. Like, I'm being shown the moon phases, learning to work with your cycles, learning to work with how you are feeling that particular day, so that you're better you're better to nurture yourself in a much more efficient way, if that makes any sense. Because only then can you create better things within your life. With Sedna, infinite supply, you are supplied for today and all of your tomorrows. Whatever it is that you're leaving behind, know that there is more than enough of what it is that you need awaiting you in this next phase of your life, in this new identity that you are embracing. And you will be much more in the flow of whatever it is that moves you, whether that's love, whether that's trying to keep up with your family and what their needs are, or, just trying to enjoy your life in general. I feel like this new identity that you are having will allow you to, one, sleep a lot better, because look how they both have their eyes closed and they have this serene look on their face. 2, if you live near the ocean, or if you're being called to live near the ocean, that could also be the case, because I'm seeing a lot of water here. If not the ocean, it could be a lake or a river. Something about water is going to be very healing to your soul. Even if it's just maybe owning a part-time home or a condominium near an ocean, I feel like that could help you out a lot. Or traveling there if you know people near that area. But I mean, just look how starkly different these 2 energies are. I said 3 because I'm going to pick 3 cards from the tarot. But yeah, you're moving from this energy of being in this very rigid, angry fight or flight mode to being in the flow of life, in being emotionally nurturing and nourishing. I think they both apply here. And just being allowed to rest whenever you need to rest, being allowed to grow and really flourish. And I just love this energy you're about to embody, pile 2. I feel like you've been needing it. So doesn't matter what you're about to do next. Make sure that you are getting plenty of, well, one, water. Some of you could be dehydrated as well. And two, plenty of rest. And if not, I promise you this next identity you are going to embrace will be making those simple things a priority. Sleep, hydration, and I'm hearing emotional intimacy for those of you who have a partner or who would like a partner that fulfills you emotionally. But let's go ahead and get your astro dice if I can find them. There you are. To get a little bit more insight into what identity you are leaving behind and what you are embracing, though I feel it's very clear cut here. We have the first house, Gemini, and Mars. So Mars energy is what you have learned to really strengthen. I feel like whatever this past environment is that you are leaving, or this identity from this past environment that you are leaving, you're very grateful for it. I can tell, because for some of you, especially if you're a fire sign, I feel like for a moment and for a while, you really thrived in this. Like it strengthened you. It gave you the stimulation you needed. It gave you everything you needed. But at some point, it literally burned you out. You can play with fire all you want. At some point, you will be burned. And in this case, I feel like you got so used to the burns that you weren't even feeling them anymore. And that's what this Mars energy is, letting you know that you will always have this Mars fire energy within you. It's so strong with you, Pile 2, that you cannot deny it. But there's nothing wrong with balancing this out with a little bit of this flow, this ease, this rest, this relaxation, this beautiful energy that is coming for you. With Gemini, you could be doing something, I hate saying a double life, but that could be the case where you're taking on two very different jobs. One that gives you that fire, that, you know, the physical and mental stimulation that you need, and you're balancing that out with something a lot more calming. Maybe something where you're very nurturing, very, I'm thinking of like a yoga instructor or a meditation instructor here, where you're just balancing out two very different kind of lifestyles so that you're better balanced. And then in the first house, people will know about this. It's going to be very obvious that you're doing something new. And I feel like for some of you, it might even be in the public eye. You might advertise this, like, especially if you're holding, like I'm hearing, or well, seeing actually, because I'm seeing like either Facebook or Instagram, somewhere where you put a picture and you let people know that you are letting, that you're opening up like yoga classes or meditation classes, something to that extent. But at the same time, you're still holding this one other job of like being in your fire energy, being in your more stimulating energy. But that's only for those of you who still want to keep this job. You don't have to keep it. For some of you, you might transition for a little bit. You'll be in a transitional phase, and then you'll fully embrace this other new job that is a lot easier on you. So take that only if it resonates. I know I've done this before when I was holding a job that was very physically demanding, and then went on to having yoga classes, which made me quite a bit of money when I did have them. But this was before COVID hit, this before 2020. Not sure how it would be now, but who knows. But at the same time, this is the same energy I'm feeling, where you're going from something that is very emotionally and physically demanding to something that is very emotionally and physically nurturing. So you're balancing things out here. And in some cases, you might just leave this energy behind altogether and embracing something a lot better for you. Take whatever resonates a lot more. And of course, whichever makes more sense to you financially as well. But let's move on to the tarot. I'm quite interested to see, because the messages I keep getting from the oracle spread is just, it's on repeat. So whatever you're doing or were doing, it was like a broken record, you know? It's like it kept repeating itself. You could have been unintentionally repeating a cycle, like a never-ending cycle that just needed to be broken. So for the tarot, I'm going to get 3 cards. One is how people are viewing you, or like an old identity you have. One is whatever you are letting go, and the other one is what you're embracing. So for my pile 2, we have the 7 of Wands, Soteria. Being on the defense. People see you as very defensive. Current energy. 10 of Wands. Yeah, you're burnt out, pile 2. What are you embracing? The Hangman, a change of heart. Whatever it is that you're doing next, it's going to be so drastic from what you used to do. And I mean, the oracles reflected that. I feel like whatever it is you're about to do, it's almost going to be like night and day, the things that you accomplish. Back of the deck energy, death. Yeah, a transformation. that is desperately needed. I'm going to use the Audacity deck to clarify these. The Audacity deck is it's not really a tarot deck, but it does give good insights into clarifying some of these. So to clarify the Seven of Wands, we have the Moon. I'll have to censor that because it's got a booty. It's my favorite card, really. People are seeing you in a very, why am I hearing loony, like lunatic? Because we do get the word lunatic from the moon, Luna, because the moon is known for making our emotions go all over the place. Some people may be seeing you a little bit out of balance, especially in the workplace, because whenever I got this card, I was thinking of the workplace where you're always on the defense to the point that you're no longer seeing straight. You're no longer really thinking straight. And I feel like some people, especially those of you who have close friends at work, they might notice this more than anybody else, or the people who are very perceptive. The people who care, essentially. To clarify the current energy, Ten of Wands. The cheese fries. I will read from the book, but what I'm getting from this is that you're being a little bit overindulgent in the things that are not good. Well, let's say this. If you have a comfort food or a comfort habit that you do post work or post whatever this energy is, it could even be with friends that you like to have a good time, you might be overdoing it. That's what I'm getting from this. So let's say after this particular work environment, you like to go out for drinks. You may be overdoing it to the point that even you don't like going out drinking anymore because you know that it's just a crutch, a band-aid that you're putting on this big old gaping wound. And then to clarify the Hanged Man, the energy you are about to embrace. We got 2 cards. We got the Bottle and the Audacity. So the Bottle I'm seeing, and this was similar to pile 1, some of you might be taking on this new, some of you might become parents, and the Bottle could literally just be the, taking care of a baby or taking care of your children if you already have them. You could be embracing like a stay-at-home parent kind of vibe here. And of course, that would be very drastically different from being in a workplace that requires all of your attention. And the Audacity lets me know that you are stepping into your badass energy, pile 2. Whatever it was that you used to do or whatever energy you used to embody, because even if it's not a workplace that is making you crazy, it could literally be you not being able to be quiet about the things that bother you anymore. So you're going to be very outspoken. And that could be a 180 from where you used to be, where you used to have to keep quiet or you used to have to watch what you say. Not anymore. You're literally stepping into an energy where you are saying exactly what needs to be said, even if it's not the easiest thing to hear. I'm not saying you're going to be very blunt about it. Some of you might be very nice about it, but you're very much going to step into an energy where you are saying harsh truths, where you are saying things that need to be said. Not always so bluntly, like I said. Some of you might have a very nicer way of putting it, but for the most of you, you're going to be saying things that you used to hold back on. You're not going to be keeping quiet for the sake of keeping the peace anymore. And I really love this energy for you, pile 2. I feel like a lot of you have held back a lot. I am going to read from the book for the for a lot of these cards, actually. But let's start with, I already said with the Seven of Wands and the Moon. You're not emotionally okay. Even if you thought you were, I feel like certain people will be able to see this a little bit better than you are. And I feel like these are going to be well-meaning people. You may not take it well the first time you hear it, and you may even ask others around you. Like, let's say a coworker said this and you kind of wanted to be very defensive about it, or you were. I feel like you're going to go back to your friends or your family and be like, hey, a coworker said this. What do you think? And I feel like this is where you're going to learn the truth, and maybe some of your friends or family may agree with this, where they realize that the current environment you are in is just not mentally healthy for you. It's not putting you in your best light, and honestly, it might be eating away at you. Because even though the moon in this particular deck means something else, it means like vibing with the moon and your emotions. I'm taking it to mean the darker side of the tarot here, where things are very murky and mysterious. There might be some secrets being kept from you within this environment, within this workspace, that I feel like intuitively you know what's going on, but in the 3D, in the ego, you're kind of not wanting to see because you think you can still hold on to this and be fine. But the truth is, it may show up in a dream. It may show up through somebody letting you in on a particular way of thinking from somebody else. Like they might give you the heads up that somebody is planning to do this, and that. And that itself could really mess up your mind, essentially. It could mess with you. I'm going to read from the book for the cheese fries and the Ten of Wands. So I can tell you right away, the Ten of Wands, it's being overburdened with problems, being overburdened by the things that people expect of you. The cheese fries are the answer to everything. The clock is ticking and you haven't had your fix of monosodium glutamate, sodium tripolyphosphate, and yellow dye number 5. You've been so hard on yourself lately, and it's okay to indulge right now. You deserve the fries and the cheese on top. Put your cares aside, relax, and surrender to the gluttony. Like I said, this is surrendering to like something overindulgent. But regardless, I feel like for some of you, if you prefer to work, you could be overindulging on that. There's something here about not taking care of yourself. Because even as I tap into this energy, I'm getting slowly but surely very tired. And I feel like because it happened so gradually, you weren't able to really recognize the signs of it. For some of you, if you're at that age where you're able to retire, I feel like this is just spirit coming through to say, hey, it's time to move on to better things, because this whole idea that you're going to work until you die is kind of ridiculous. But it's only going to be for like a very select few of you. I know there are people a little bit older who watch this, so take that only if it resonates. But even if you're able to retire and you're nowhere near retirement age yet, I feel like this is also a call for that. Take that only if it resonates, of course. I am not professional advice here. This is just for those of you who were already thinking about it or who already know that this is what's going on. It's just confirmation. With the Hanged Man, I'm going to read from the bottle, or for the bottle. The bottle, the Baba, the source of nourishment, the ultimate reservoir of life. What are you bottling up? Your precious gifts are meant to be given away. Step into your power, your authenticity, and flow by relaxing into the essence of who you really are. Yeah. Whatever you're embracing, even though it's a 180 on what you used to do, it's going to be a lot more true to your nature. It's going to be more authentic to your soul's calling. It's going to be a more you type of thing, essentially, pile 2. And the audacity for you to be honest with yourself, to be honest about the things you want to do and what it is that, like, here's the thing. Everybody has a thing that, sure, it may not make a lot of money, but it's something that is their passion and that they love, and that is going to be very emotionally fulfilling. There was a very similar message in pile 1. So if you recall to that, you can go to that one, or if you came from that one, I think this is just confirmation of that very same message. But you are embracing something that is going to be completely opposite of what you used to do, because it's more true to your nature's calling, more true to your own soul's calling. You're going to be doing something that makes you happy, or at the very least, something that's a lot more relaxing, a lot more nurturing to your life, essentially. I feel like it's going to be better for you and your family. It's going to be a lot more, it's going to be happier. It's going to be a lot more happy. And it's going to be very transformational as well. I feel like some of you always thought you were going to be in this energy of work, and then one day you're going to be lucky enough to retire. No. For some of you, it might be early retirement. For some of you, it could be moving to a place that feels like retirement. I'm thinking of somebody moving near a beach. And even though, yes, you may still be working, because you're like minutes away from the beach, it'll feel like you're on retirement, like you're finally living out your retirement dreams, if that makes any sense. But I really do love this idea that you are letting go completely and doing a 180 on this old life that used to keep you in a very defensive mode, in this heavy wands energy of always putting up a fight or always having to watch your back here. But yeah, I truly love this energy for you, pile 2. I feel like you deserve it. But let's move on to your closing statements, your closing cards, and closing advice. So for my pile 2, we have the Animal Apothecary cards. Shake, release, heal, and move on. 27. Yep. Shake and release it. Heal whatever you need to and move on. I didn't get too much healing from this. I feel like some of you are going to be reluctant to do so, and that's okay. I feel like the healing will come as you transition into this new era of your life, or as you transition into the new identity you have to really embrace. Because for some of you, it's going to be your environment that shifts your identity, quite honestly. And it won't really happen until you get into that particular environment. If you stay in the same job, you could be relocated to somewhere that is a lot nicer, or that is like a lot better for you somehow. All right, and then I have a let go card. We have this one. Sip in air without rushing towards the future. The present is worth enjoying. I'm going to get another one. We have this one where she's looking at a butterfly. Discard any fears of success and be willing to offer more than is expected of you. What I'm hearing is that if you currently like your current job, you can keep this energy with you and take it on to the next one. What's going to happen though is on the outside, like you may still hold that passion and that drive within you. On the outside though, you're going to shift dramatically, or it's going to soften to the point that it doesn't feel as harsh as it used to be, if that makes any sense. And then I'm going to get a card from the Rose Oracle. I'm just making sure we're still recording. Yep. For my pile 2. The Sacred Waters. Here we go again with the water. I feel like you're really just going to move somewhere, or you're going to be in an area that deals more with water. Nourishment, replenishment, health, rest, self-care. For some of you, I feel like this is going to impact your health profoundly. Like, especially if you used to have a lot of body aches, or if you used to have like a very bad health, or I don't know, maybe the air quality will change as well. It's going to impact your health for the better. Or you may be given more time off so that you can better focus on your physical body as well as mental health. I'm going to get one more for you. The Reunion. Soul recognition, collaboration, partnership, and friendship. In some cases, you will be making new friends. I'm hearing some of you might meet somebody of importance in this new environment. So take that only if it resonates. It doesn't necessarily have to be romantic, though it could be, of course. But for the majority of you, it'll be new friends that are better able to understand you. Because when I think of soul recognition, I think of somebody who is good for your soul. But this is where I leave you, my beautiful pile 2. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello there, pile 3. If you chose this lovely black tourmaline, then we have a reading here for you about identities you are letting go of and what you are embracing, as well as what people may see about you that you don't see yourself in first impressions. We're kind of tapping into a lot of it. The past few readings have been very, very eye-opening thanks to this solar eclipse, which happened a few hours ago. I can definitely feel the shift, like, and particularly in this pile, I feel like it's mostly you, pile 3. There's like a rebirth, a re-energizing, and it's very strong. You've cleared out a lot of negative energy, a lot of negative ties have been cut here. So I feel like because you've let go of something, you're going to embrace new things. And I feel like that will have something to do with your identity shift. But regardless, let's go ahead and look at your oracles. Starting with the one you chose, we have the Black Madonna, Our Lady of the Hermits. I transform pain and suffering into a greater capacity to love. Yeah, I'm getting a sense that some of you have come from a background where the people around you were not always the best, especially those that you grew up around. In particular, the adults around you, I feel, were just not at their best. I'm not sure if you had very young parents or if the people around you were very young, because I'm getting a sense that you were probably raised by people in their early 20s. And I feel like some of you, especially if you're past that age, you think back on it and wonder, wow, I myself was still pretty much a child in my early 20s. I cannot imagine having been raised by people that age when I myself at that age knew I did not have things figured out. So it's that kind of energy where you're like looking back at your in particular your background, your upbringing, and seeing how that impacted a lot of how you see life, especially because I feel like a lot of you have released so much negative energy. And even as I'm speaking, I'm doing weird hand gesture. Well, they're not weird, but I'm doing the hand gestures that I use in order to release negative energy. So that's letting me know that some of you have done some kind of soul clearing, energetic healing, energetic clearing, whatever you want to call it, whether this was intentional or not. I feel like this might have come in conjunction with you letting go of these particular people. For some of you, it's going to be family. For some of you, it's going to be friends. It could just be the people you grew up around. So maybe childhood friends, high school friends, whatever you want to call it. you're embracing something new and letting go of the I'm hearing the shackles, the bondage that kept you to them, because it really did feel that way. Like you might have thought it was a bonding, but really it was a bondage. So we've let go of that. If there was any codependency there, I feel like you've let go of that as well. But let's go ahead and look at the rest of your cards. We have Mother Mary. Have faith that your prayers have been heard and are being answered. A lot of Mary, Madonna energy here, both carrying babies. And again, I feel like this is part of the reason your childhood is being brought up a lot, because the imagery I'm being shown is that of you as a child. And especially if you came from like a very religious background, one that was very restrictive in particular, a restrictive religious background, I feel like you're letting go of that as well. I feel like your relationship with spirituality is going to change drastically. And I'm not saying that you're completely rejecting everything about your past religion, though that could also be the case, of course. I feel like you're taking the positive aspects of it and implementing that, like not being afraid to accept some of the positive things about it. For example, I grew up Catholic, and I was always taught to pray to my angels, and that's one of the few things that I still do. I still work with angels. I acknowledge them, and I know when they are there helping. But I don't accept all of Catholicism or even Christianity, because there's a lot of it that I feel has been twisted around a lot by that particular institution. And maybe you're doing the same here, pile 3, where you're looking to see exactly what fits and what doesn't, what makes sense and what doesn't. We also have space. Yeah, you're creating a lot of space, not just from these people, but also for yourself. I feel like, especially if you came up in a background, in an energy where you were always expected to accommodate other people, where you were always expected to make others feel comfortable, or whatever the case may be, you are finally learning to take back that space for yourself. You are making space for yourself, and you are learning that it is okay for you to take up that space as well. Because I get that a lot from people who were taught or brought up in very restrictive backgrounds. We are taught to always be accommodating to everybody else, but never to be accommodating to ourselves, to never take up space, but make space for everybody else, if that makes sense. So you are finally reclaiming that part of you that knows that you yourself also deserve space. For the God card, we have Prometheus, altruism. Yeah. And I feel like in turn, it's making you a better person. Like you're learning to, for example, if we're going back to the idea of Christianity, you like the welfare that it does, like the good it does for people, providing for them. Like, I'm thinking of charity as well as giving back to the community. I feel like certain aspects of that you truly love, but there are things that you know were hurting you from it. So you're looking for something better here. You're taking certain aspects of it, going with it, and implementing all the good stuff. What I'm also seeing is that it's going to call in people that are good for you, people who are just as altruistic as you know, people who want to give back to the community, because you've let go of these people who really all did was take and tell you what to do. You're calling in people who are going to give and not and allow you to be yourself. They're not going to tell you what to do, but if they do, it's going to be for a good reason. It's going to be very interesting. I feel like, especially if you're trying to call in a partner, you're calling in somebody who, and this is going to sound contradictory, but bear with me, pile 3. You're going to call in somebody who's a little bit controlling, but in a good way, if that makes sense. They're not going to try and control you. They're going to try and direct how the relationship goes, how your family, should you want one or have one, will be doing. This is somebody who would offer you like job experiences, who would, for example, if you don't want to work, if you want to stay at home, they might offer you like a certain budget to work with, and that will help you with your expenses as well as saving up. This person that you're calling in, their controlling factors are going to be something positive, as opposed to the controlling factors that you grew up with, which were just to manipulate you. This is not manipulative controlling. This is controlling so that things stay on course for something successful. That's only going to be for a few of you, very interestingly, because the way this card was coming through is that there is somebody coming into your life who's going to help you out. If it's not a romantic partner, it could even be friends, again, who offer you like a form of structure that is going to better help you get from one place to somewhere better. And this is going to be part of your identity, not somebody who is quote, quote, a servant, but somebody who is willing to work alongside people to make themselves better. It's like if somebody is offering you an opportunity and you feel and sense that that opportunity is going to take you places, you are going to hop on board, essentially. And then you got 2 Cosmos Oracle cards. We have Abundance, 31. Yeah, for some of you, this might be a career opportunity that you have been waiting for. And there is a cup, not sure if you can tell, but there is a cup here overflowing, which makes me think of the Ace of Cups here. So like I said, you're drawing in people that are better for you. You're drawing in those that want to see you succeed, or who see something within you that they know will take them further, whether that's friendship, career, or a romantic relationship. We also have Giving, number 30, receiving harmony and karma. I love that. I feel like you're definitely moving from this it's very odd because I'm sensing that it's spirituality or like a spiritual way of being, but like a different modality of it for some of you. Like you're moving from this very restrictive, patriarchal Christian, or whatever your religion may be. I'm just using Christianity as an example because it's the one I'm most familiar with. But you can put in your own religion here if you feel like that's what is resonating with you. But you're taking the good aspects and leaving behind a lot of the clutter of it that was indoctrinated within you. And you're moving on to something better. And I feel like the one marker of this is going to be the space you either give yourself from this particular energy, and or the space that you give yourself in order to grow, the space you allow yourself to take up. It's going to bring in people. And I really do love this transition. Something similar happened in the past few piles as well, where like as I laid out the cards, there was a transition from the old you to the new you. The new you is going to live in abundance, but with that abundance, you're also going to give back to your community. I feel like I'm seeing that scene from a Forrest Gump where he inherits a lot of money, but he makes sure to give it back. Like what was it? The Bubba Gump Shrimp Company, I think he did. So he made sure that Bubba Gump's mom got, her cut of everything. And then he also made sure that he was able to keep his mom's house, which was already a nice big house. I feel like he got a good inheritance, but he also gave back to his community. So, and yeah, because I think he gave back to the churches as well. Something a lot about churches coming through. So I'm not sure if some of you go to church, like you might be Christian, but you're still very open spiritually to a lot of other things. If so, hello, you're still welcome here. But regardless of your spiritual background, religious background, I accept everybody as long as they have nothing but good stuff to bring, as long as they have nothing but love and compassion for everybody. But regardless, you're going to be in a very abundant energy, but you're also going to give back to your community and to other people. It's very much because you have been offered an opportunity that someone or something is going to get you to somewhere better. You're going to make sure that once you have made more than enough than what you need, you give back, because there's only so much that you need to have. I feel like this is my pile of people who are definitely very altruistic. Like even if you become millionaires, billionaires, you will know what you need to live comfortably, and the rest is going back to the community. And I really love that, because I feel like that's something beautiful, especially if you have very strong ideals for for example, education, or giving to the community, to children, to parks and stuff, that kind of idea. Like I could see a building being named after you because you made such a nice donation or something along those lines, or even because you made such a strong impact on a particular area of life here. Some of you could be dealing with schools as well. Maybe you really want to see a school flourish, so you're going to give your time and or money to this particular idea. But regardless, I feel like part of how you heal your inner child from these past wounds is giving back to the children now. So whether that's your own children or like the community's children will be up to you. It could be both, of course. But let's go ahead and get your astro dice to see how else you are shifting and evolving. We have Leo, the 5th house, the house of children, and the sun. Wow, very strong Leo energy, because all 3 of these are Leo dominant. Like sun is the ruler of Leo, and Leo rules the 5th house. So this makes sense to me. Strong child energy. And I would even say that if you're not a Leo, because I feel like some of you may not, you're going to be very much in very strong Leo energy, where you are going to shine. You're going to be, I'm hearing like a figurehead, almost kind of like how these 2 Madonnas are shining with the halo around them, holding children. I feel like you might actually represent this. Like I could see you taking pictures with kids that you have impacted positively. If you are a teacher, this would also make sense. I feel like Leos make the best teachers ever, because if there's one thing Leos care more about than their own appearance or their own selves, it's the impact that they have on children, because they know they are the future, and they know that all the goodness that they give to them will be able to be given back to them in the way that the world is shifted and shaped. Another sign coming through is Aquarius, because they also make amazing teachers. But regardless, there's a feeling here that you are definitely giving back to the community, more specifically to children. And some of you might work, like I'm thinking of a psychology major, somebody who's a therapist. Maybe you work with children who have been displaced or who have been hurt. I feel like some of you just really, really care about that. You nurture your inner child by taking care of other children. And that's a very beautiful energy to have here, pile 3. Even if you yourself are watching us and think, well, I don't like kids, I feel like you're going to learn to like them, even if it's at a distance, even if they're not your own kids. Because I don't know, I feel like I have never met anybody who hasn't met like a small child and doesn't think that they're the cutest thing ever, or that they have something very profound to say. I definitely see you shifting this way. I'm not saying that if you don't want to raise or be a parent to children, that you're going to shift drastically. I mean, that could be the case, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that you're going to learn how to nurture your inner child by giving back to actual children in some way, shape, or form here. But regardless, let's move on to the tarot to see what identities you are letting go of. Though, if you do hate children, that might be one identity you are letting go of. I will say that. All right, I'm being told to use the Modern Witch Tarot for you. I used a different deck in the other ones. So if for some reason you don't see it listed in the description, let me know in the comments and I will tell you what the name of it is, just in case you need it written down to look up later. So for my pile 3, we're looking at how people are seeing you, what identity you are currently embodying that you are going to let go of, and what identity you will be embodying in the future or near future. So what are people seeing about my pile 3? You have the 4 of Wands. Somebody who's always happy-go-lucky and in celebration. I get the feeling that you definitely glow. Some of you might be partnered up with somebody. If not, you may be soon. Like I said, that's only if it's resonating, because in the oracle, somebody was coming through. So I feel like some people want to see you settle down and have kids and etc., etc., especially your family and whatnot. But like I said, that could be something you are letting go of. That could be something you are distancing yourself from. Okay, some aspect you are currently embodying that you are going to let go of, the Queen of Cups. I'm seeing you embracing emotional maturity, because right now you definitely operate from your emotions, from your feelings. But one thing you're going to let go of in this regard is going to be how much you allow it to control you. Like, instead of just feeling sad over something, you're going to do something about that thing that makes you sad, if that makes any sense. Like, you're no longer going to sit around and do anything. You're going to allow those emotions that you feel to drive you to something else. Let me go ahead and get an energy you are embodying. We have the 6 of Pentacles. It's that giving back energy. That generosity is so strong with you. You're going to learn to give back. Even if it's just your time, even if it's just your energy, in a healthy way, of course. We are not over-giving here. You're giving back exactly what you can give back here, because the 6 of Pentacles is a balance. Temperance, yeah. And directing your energy where it needs to go. I'm going to use the Audacity deck to clarify these. I really just see you being a presence within your community is what I'm hearing. For those of you who are teachers and you already work with children, I can see you stepping away from a traditional teaching role and going on to something that is better going to impact the classrooms or the children that you work for, the students that you work for. Not that you work for them, the students that you work with. For some of you, it could feel like you're working for them, but really you're not. You're working with them. But yeah. Because I'm seeing that scene from Abbott Elementary where Janine steps away from her teaching role that she loves so much to be in that other role, in a school district role. so that she can better change the classrooms, if that makes any sense. I love Abbott Elementary, by the way. That's from Abbott Elementary. Ooh, I have a hard time saying that. Okay, so let's clarify the Four of Wands. We have the Sun. Yeah, people are seeing you shine right now. They feel like you got it made, that you have everything going on, that you could not be happier. So they kind of want to see you take those next steps that are traditionally expected of people who have a great job and a loving partner, you know? But I feel like a lot of you you may already be there. I mean, you may have already had this happen, but there is something here that you don't quite want that, or it's not enough. Like, you want something else. We have the chicken nugget with the Queen of Cups. Yeah, emotional maturity for sure. I'm not calling you emotionally immature right now, but there's a feeling here that you were holding on to certain ways of handling your emotions that were just comfortable, but weren't necessarily healthy for you, if that makes any sense. Like, you were hanging on to them because it was what came naturally to you, but it's time to evolve from that particular mode or setting. Let's clarify the Six of Pentacles. We have the influencer. Yeah, you are becoming a better influence on the world, a better influence on your community, and a better role model, I'm hearing, by actually stepping away from what you currently have, from what you are currently doing. You are doing something a little bit out of the ordinary, or it feels out of the ordinary. Like I said, you're stepping away from working directly with whatever it is that you are working with and taking a more distant role that is going to better impact this particular scenario. Back of the deck energy, the child. Yeah, lots of children energy. Let me know if this is resonating with you. If not, we do have 3 other piles, but this particular pile I feel are going to be my teachers, my librarians, my nannies, my babysitters, or even just moms, like moms that take on other kids from other moms, you know, or even like if you're naturally a big brother or a big sister kind of person, which, you know, I resonate with that. I'm the oldest in my family, so you're learning how to take care of people at a distance and somehow allowing that distance to better take care of them, if that makes any sense. It's kind of like with creating this distance between the people, you're better to give back to them. You can better influence them from being apart from them, if that makes any sense. And believe it or not, it's going to have a healing effect on you, being out of a certain situation, I just don't know how to put it into words. You're not letting it take up too much space in your mind, and yet it's going to manifest itself. It's like when you hold onto something too tightly, you know how it has a hard time coming through because you hold onto it so tightly. When you let it go, it's going to come through a lot more quickly because you're not putting too much energy on it to hold it, to weigh it down, essentially. That's what's coming through. Even if it has nothing to do with kids, it could have something to do with your community. It could have something to do with the people around you, your friends, your circle of, your group of people. Because I feel like it's going to be different for everybody. For some of you, it could be like, why am I thinking of a knitting circle? Or like a brunch circle, some kind of community that you go to. You're going to distance yourself from them, and somehow it's going to actually be better for you because you're going to be able to do more for them from a distance. You're going to be able to give back. You're going to be able to focus on the things that need to be focused on so that it can flourish and thrive in a way that it couldn't had you stayed there. And I feel like you're going to gain the support from a lot of people, especially if we're dealing with adult people or like older children here who better understand your circumstances. It's like they're watching their teacher become an administrator, and they prefer that because the administration role is better you can better do things for these students, and therefore they would be in debt, like they would feel in debt to you, like they're happy that you're happy and that you can influence them from an outside source, if that makes sense. I'm having trouble putting that into words, but I feel like, I hope this makes sense to you, pile 3. Underneath that, the Two of Cups. Like I said, for some of you, stepping away from whatever it is that you have now is going to bring in people that are meant for you. And in some cases, like a partner, a romantic partner. What's underneath the child? The slice, yeah. You're getting your slice of the cake. You're getting your slice of the pie here. For some of you, it could be for monetary reasons. And for others, it's going to be because you just want to see more. You want to see better things in the world. And you know you need a different role for this particular reason. Another way to put it, if the kid in school analogy wasn't working for you, is if you currently have a job where you're working a more entry-level job, you're going to be promoted to something a lot higher. And from that perspective, you're going to be able to better give that particular role that you used to have better chances at flourishing. You're going to give it all the supplies it needs. You're going to give them the time, the resources to be, because you already understand that role, if that makes any sense. But this is where it is. I also see you being, I'm not saying that you're going to be any less emotional, but you're going to be more practical about how your emotions are coming through, if that makes sense. You're going to allow your emotions to guide you to do the things that you need to do, as opposed to just sitting there and stewing in your emotions, essentially. And I really do love this energy for you, pile 3. But let's move on to your closing advice. Also, you're going to be wearing better shoes, I'm hearing. I don't know who needed to hear that, but if you had to wear like shoes you didn't like, you're going to be wearing better shoes, or your feet are going to look better, especially if you can wear open toe shoes. Like, I can see you getting pedicures. That was a very random, message, but okay, for those of you who needed to hear it. So we're going to get a card from the Animal Apothecary deck as part of your advice, or anything else you will embody. Immense growth, number 15. Oh, I love this. Yeah, you're going to see a very rapid progression of growth here. And I really do feel it's going to be fast. And it's going to come on, I don't want to say suddenly, but it was very much needed. Like this old mentality you had, like I said, it was holding you back. It wasn't allowing you to grow in the way that you needed to. I'm going to get a card from the Letting Go deck. Oh. These cards have been falling all day. Like, I don't know what's up with me, but I am not this clumsy, and all my cards have been falling today. Okay, so we have, oh, that's a pretty card, where she's looking up at the moon, which is funny, because I'm thinking of all the people that were looking up at the eclipse today. I don't know, I can feel the energy, and that to me is enough, so I don't feel the need to be staring up at the sun. Okay, find a place of quiet solitude and listen to the goddess of the moon. Is she calling for more love? And the way love is going to portray itself to you, pile 3, is going to be very different from what you used to think it was. Sometimes love is giving you space. Sometimes love is walking away and embracing something that you never saw yourself embracing before. I'm going to get another card for you because I'm being called to do so. Okay, this one. Ooh, I love this, the orange, which makes me think of the sacral chakra. Let all distractions float by. Concentrate on the things you really want. Yeah. Stepping away from this energy, from this old identity you had, is going to allow you to concentrate on the things you want. Like I said, there's going to be a time, an era of space between the things you left behind and the thing you will embrace. So give yourself that space. Allow yourself to take up that space. You might be in hermit mode for a little bit, and that's okay. You need that hermit mode in order to process what you need to process. And then a card from the Rose Oracle. Or 2 cards, I should say. I've been getting 2 cards for everybody, so you will get the same. We have healing is happening. You're not broken. Trust the process. It's safe to soften. Yeah. I feel like that's just part of that space you need so that you can heal. And Brothers of the Rose. Sacred masculine, honor, protection, and support. You might be finding a lot of support from men, especially if you're used to a female-dominated environment, or if you are just typically operating from your feminine energy. Don't be surprised if it's somebody, whatever it is that you work in, because I want to say it's not necessarily just men. If your profession is female dominated, or it has more women than usual, you're going to be finding help from men. And the opposite is also true. If your job is typically male dominated and you work in a male dominated environment, you're going to be finding help from a woman. So just flip the genders here, whatever makes sense to you in your particular field or job. And if it's something that's 50-50, because I feel like a lot of people work in that now, it'll be your opposite gender, whatever that is. And it's going to be something that you're not used to. It's going to come from a very unexpected place, or from somebody that you didn't realize was capable of what they're capable of, because there's something unexpected here. And if you yourself are a man, or identify as a man, or your masculine energy, by all means, this is going to mean that you are going to operate in your masculine, in your sacred masculine energy, your divine masculine, if that makes sense. It's going to be different for everybody. I hope that makes sense. But this is where I leave you, my beautiful pile 3. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If any of this resonated, let me know. I am sending you so much love. And if you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello there, pile 4. If you chose this beautiful golden healer quartz palm stone, then we have a reading here for you about what identity you are letting go of, what you are embracing, as well as how people are perceiving you. And I can tell people are going to notice this change with you rather, I'm hearing abruptly, or very, very suddenly. Like, they're going to not be able to ignore it, essentially. Let's go ahead and tap into your oracles to see what's going on with you. I should let you know, I had the song by what's his name, El Alfa, Singapore. I'm not sure why. Maybe Singapore is of importance to some of you. That song's a banger, I'll be honest. It's hard not to dance to it. But regardless, something about Singapore here. But or maybe traveling in general, because the song is also about traveling. But regardless, we have Lilith, the first woman. I am the voice of my body and soul. I choose the life that I desire to live. Something about letting go of a particular person, because Lilith was considered the first wife of Adam. So maybe some of you are newly divorced, or maybe you've let go of somebody who was not great for you, or not understanding. We also have balance, abundance, lots of green energy, lots of heart chakra. We have origin, 13, root conditioning, and forgiveness. Very interesting. Some of you are going back to your root, which makes sense because Lilith is the first woman. So I feel like you're going back to the kind of person you were before you met the person you let go of, or the situation. It doesn't necessarily have to be a person. It could be a situation. But you're definitely letting go of something you had embodied while you were with this person, and you're going back to your roots. So what you are embracing is something much more true to yourself, but it's like an old aspect of yourself that you want to rebrand for the current you, if that makes sense. We also have Sedna, infinite supply. You are supplied for today and all of your tomorrows, again with that abundance coming through. And I'm going to read up on Sedna. I want to say that hers was I'll read up on her origin story. We also have Zeus, leadership. 2 things. 1, like I said, some of you are leaving behind somebody. I do get strong divorce vibes from this, because Zeus was not a great husband in the Greek mythology stories. So if you know, you know. But I'm also getting that you yourself are stepping into a role of leadership, because you've essentially let go of somebody who was stifling that energy. And if it's not a relationship, it could be like a partnership that wasn't allowing you to flourish. So with balance, I feel like you're no longer going to be operating from a very submissive role. You're going to balance that out with something more dominant. So you're balancing out your masculine and feminine energies, your submissive and dominant energies. You're going to better learn how to understand both modalities for yourself, and that's going to bring in a lot of abundance. If it's not money, it will just be an abundance of freedom, an abundance of being able to I'm hearing direct and control yourself, as well as to create the life you want. There is a vast open space for you. I feel it. I feel quite literally the feeling of freedom. And it's hard to describe, but I feel it in the heart more than anything. Because like I said, we're opening up the heart chakra space here because you're better to able understand what it is you want. And what you want is to go back to how you felt before you met this person or this environment or this particular thing. Very similar things have been happening in a lot of these piles. We're letting go of old structures, old environments, old identities. Again, these identities just no longer benefit us. But in your case, pile 4, and it's a very interesting case, you're taking out, because I'm seeing a closet and you're going back to like your old clothes that you still fit into and that are still flattering on you and don't look too dated. That's that kind of energy. You're going back to an old identity that actually suited you better than whatever it was that you were embodying while within this particular space. Something about Pluto and Capricorn is very interesting for those of you for whom that resonates, because Pluto and Capricorn lasted, God, how many years? Quite a few years. And now we're moving into Pluto and Aquarius. So I feel like whatever this was, this old way of thinking actually suits you better than the whatever it was that you have just recently let go. But you're going back to basics. You're going back to your origin story. Let me go ahead and read for Sedna, because I feel like her story is going to be very important here. And hopefully this particular book says it all, because I have several goddess booklets, but they don't all say the same thing. Okay, I'm going to read from her origin story first. About Sedna. She's the Alaskan goddess of the sea, which provides sustenance for the body and the soul. Sedna lost the tips of her fingers in a tragic boating accident, and the digits transformed into whales, seals, and other sea creatures. As a result, Sedna is intimately connected with the ocean's inhabitants. Call upon her plentiful supplies, especially for your family. Sedna can also help you with an ocean-related venture, including interacting with whales, dolphins. She's very appreciative of those who give time, money, or have efforts to protect the sea and its creatures. And I want to say she lost her fingers due to the fact that someone betrayed her. I can't remember if it was her husband or father, but it was definitely a male figure. I remember that from the story because it was just so, it was just so wild when I read it. I was like, oh my God, very sad. So like I said, I feel like some of you have been hurt by a past lover, or if it's not a lover, it could be just somebody that you worked with, somebody that you trusted, somebody that was very much more in their masculine energy while you operated from the feminine. But here's the thing, I feel like you had to fall out with that person to embrace your true strength, your true identity, because this person or these people, this environment was stifling it. You're going back to your roots. You're going back to your Lilith energy. And Lilith is a very kick-ass energy. She does not take crap from anybody. She wants to be equal with everybody. She will not be put in a subservient environment. Like, she will not be made into, I'm hearing a servant. Like, no, she will not be made second fiddle. She understands her value, her worth, and what she brings to this environment. And quite frankly, pile 4, you understand this as well. I'm going to go ahead and read more from Sedna, by the way, because I'm being called to. This is an abundant universe filled with more than enough for everyone, yet the energy format of this planet is about polarities. In this instant, it's about giving and receiving. The key is to balance the two. If you only give, you'll feel drained, resentful, and experience lack. If you only receive, you won't enjoy what you have. Balance comes from fearlessly giving as you're guided, and then receiving with joy and gratitude. It's exactly like breathing. Both the inhale and the exhale are identically important. Yeah. So you will be given what you need, but you will also be able to give back. And there was a similar message in pile 3. So if you recall to that, by all means, you can go back to that. But there is a feeling here, again, you're going back to your roots, and it's going to be the identity you embrace. It's like you're going back to something that was much more true to yourself, much more freeing. And whatever that is, we'll look into that, of course. But for sure, you're stepping into your leadership energy, into your masculine role, because Zeus is he's the all-father of the Greek pantheon. So not necessarily that you're taking on the negative traits of that, of course, but you're definitely stepping into a role of leadership. And I quite love this energy for you, pile 4. Like, you're truly balancing out everything within your life by yourself, especially if you're somebody who was used to having somebody else balance these things out for you. You're going to learn that alone you can actually take on more than you thought you could, especially if you go back to your roots. I don't know why that keeps coming through, but let's go ahead and move on to the tarot portion. For my pile 4, I am using, should I use the Modern Witch? Yeah, if I can find it. Okay. Not gonna lie, pile 4, this aspect of yourself that you're looking for is not gonna be too hard to find, because I was spending like a good 2 minutes looking for these. They were literally right in front of me, and I forgot that I had put them back in like a different box. So yeah, I feel like you're gonna try really hard to try on different identities, but the truth is going back to your most normal, true self is going to be the key here. But let's get 3 cards. We're gonna get one for how people are seeing you, one for what you are currently embodying that you are letting go of, and one for something you will embrace. I've already spoken about one particular thing you are embracing, of course, but let's look at how people are seeing you. Some people are going to have a hard time with what they see. Knight of Cups. They're seeing you in your playgirl, playboy energy. If not that, then they're seeing you fully embrace this loving energy within you. And it might, I'm not going to lie, some people are not going to like it because they're very used to you being a very particular way. So you expressing your love so openly, like they're going to be, I'm hearing they're going to find it wild for some reason, especially if you have kids. Like, I feel like they're not going to be used to seeing you dress up in a way that, you know, is meant to attract somebody, or seeing you dress up for a date. It's only going to be for those of you who have kids, of course. One energy that you are currently embodying that you are going to let go of: death, transformation. I will read about this in a moment. And then one thing that you will be embracing: the Tower. Both Knight of Cups and Death come in on a white horse, and that should be noted. Back of the deck, King of Pentacles. Very interesting indeed. I'm going to clarify these with the Audacity deck. Regardless, transformation is your middle name from now on, is what I'm hearing. You might be trying on several identities. I'll be honest. The one you are embracing the most is the one that makes waves, though. And like I said, people are going to find it hard to ignore. And some of it might be, like I said, an old identity you have. Because you're going back to your roots. I keep hearing that. Okay, for the Knight of Cups, we have the Child and the High Priestess. For Death, we have the Fiddly Fig. You're no longer staying in situations and or with people that do not contribute to you. I feel like you have so much going on that you will not make room for people that are not, you know, adding to your life, that are not benefiting you in some way, shape, or form, or at the very least who aren't like key important people. And that's not because you're being ruthless with your energy. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Some people might call it selfish, especially the people who are watching you from the outside, but you understand now that not everybody has good intentions, that some people will drain you and keep you putting up with things if you allow them to. And quite honestly, it's a little bit of it's a harsh energy you are currently embodying, but I understand why. Because you need to cut ties with the people who do not give you anything, who do nothing more than waste your time and expect you to give more than you can give. And then the energy you're going to embody. We have the Empress. Yeah, you're going to be going into your Empress energy, but what I'm hearing is that you're going to be a lot more nurturing than you usually are. You can't see it, but she's breastfeeding a child. So some of you might be tapping quite literally into your mothering energy. You might be giving more to your kids, especially if you see that they need it, especially if they're younger. I feel like what matters most to you right now is your family. If not kids, and it could be your pets or even anybody that you take care of, whether that's parents, whether that's your projects, your businesses, whatever you see as a child, you are nurturing that as well as yourself. That is going to be the energy you embody. And it's going to be very different from what you're used to. You're focusing on your dreams, essentially. You're going back to being, like the example I'm being shown, let's say you were a very strong business person, businesswoman, businessman, whatever, before you got married. But then you got married and that you put a hold on that. because suddenly you were directing your energy to different things. Well, now that you've left that, or that you've divorced, you're going back to that particular thing, back to that career, back to that business, whatever this particular thing was. Because I'm being shown, I think this happened in Modern Family. I've never seen the show, but I've seen snippets of it. And I know that this was like a story arc for one of the characters here. I think the mom in that show. It's giving me that energy where roles are going to be reversed. If you didn't leave anyone behind, you could just be switching roles within this connection, within this relationship. And I feel like that's going to fit it anyway. Back to the deck energy. Perseverance. And that makes sense. It's like you've been stagnant for so long that now you want to create things for yourself. Now you want to go back to your own dreams and nurture them. You're going to be able to do this because that's going to be your new modality. And if people were very used to seeing you be a stay-at-home parent, a stay-at-home mom, what have you, they're going to see it so differently now that you're dressing up in, like, business suits, or becoming a working person, that you are no longer making time for the people who, like I said, used to drain you, used to not add anything good to your life. A lot of people are not going to like this, but I don't think you care. The Tower energy is somebody who does what they need to do without really caring who they upset. And I truly like this energy for you because I feel like you've been in such stagnant energy for so long. It's like a caged tiger. Like a tiger is not meant to be caged. And once uncaged, they're not going to keep being the same way. Like, they're going to go out and do what they do best, which is succeed, thrive, be the king of the jungle, essentially, or queen of the jungle, whichever you prefer. But with Knight of Cups, I definitely see you looking at romantic options, because I feel like some of you are going to try and get back out there in the dating scene if that's what is resonating with you. If not, you're going to be making friends that are very different from what you're used to. And the two main things that are coming through are people that are might be slightly younger than you with a child, or people who have children. If you want to search for somebody who is a single parent, much like yourself. So take whichever resonates. If you don't have kids, you might just be going for younger people, or people who are like a child at heart. Because I feel like you might be very similar as well, Pile 4, at least in this particular energy. Or that's what people are seeing about you. Especially for those of you who look younger than your years. Yeah, this could be the case anyway. You might just draw people that are younger to you because that's just how you look. And then the High Priestess lets me know you're also looking for somebody who is very self-aware. Not necessarily intuitive, but self-aware enough that they know when they are causing you trouble, even when it's not directly, if that makes any sense. You're looking for a self-aware person because you yourself are also very self-aware, and that's fair. Like I said with the Death card, you are letting go of things that are just causing you trouble. Because, I mean, look at this fiddly fig. It's on fire. Like, it needs to be watered, it needs to be nourished, it needs the heat of the sunlight, not this fire. And I feel like you're no longer going to be forgiving for those people who burn you. Because you probably have been in the past, because I'm definitely feeling somebody who used to be a wallflower, somebody who used to be a bit of a doormat, and now it's like, yeah, that's not me anymore. I've got stuff to do. I've got things that I need to accomplish, and I've got my own family to take care of. And like I said, this is what the Tower energy is here. This Empress is unapologetically stepping over the things that are not going to benefit her. And I really do love this. It's giving me a villain era, if that makes any sense. But the truth is, you're just taking back your power. A little bit harshly true, because like I said, people are going to notice this, but I don't think that you really feel sorry. It's like, well, I used to be this way, and now I have to be in this energy for a little bit longer than I have to because I need to take back control. With the bottom of the deck energy, perseverance. I really do love that you will persevere regardless. I don't think you will always be in this harsh energy, by the way. This is just something you are going to embody to get you out of something. Because the energy you will gain after that is going to be this King of Pentacles identity, in which you will be able to create your own abundance. You will be able to create your own life. You will be able to provide yourself the stability you've been seeking within everybody else. It's only going to come from you, Pile 4. I am here to tell you that you will provide the stability you need. Yeah, Nine of Pentacles, you will be provided for. It could be from a person as well. I am hearing that you should leave your options open to allow people to spoil you and provide for you, should they be able to. But most of all, it's going to come from you. Yeah. Don't go back to this defensive energy. You will be in this defensive energy for quite some time, but it's not going to be permanent. I promise you that, Pile 4. Because at your heart's center, you are a lover girl, lover boy. You're looking for somebody to be your equal. And I know that sounds ridiculous to some people because, yeah, not every relationship is 50-50, but it should be a lot more equal than somebody doing 90% and one person doing 10%, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I love this. It's giving me baddie energy, very badass energy. But I always loved the fact that both the Knight of Cups and Death come in on a white horse. Some people will see you as Death energy, and some people will see you as the Knight of Cups energy. It all depends on, well, one, what they want to see, and two, what they have to offer you, because you're done with putting up with people's crap, essentially. But that's not a permanent energy. You will eventually go back to being a softer version of yourself once time allows that. But let's go ahead and get your closing advice. We have an Animal Apothecary card. For my pile 4. My cards have been acting so weird. Like, they've been falling all over the place. Okay, here we go. Sacred boundaries, 43. Yep, you are setting up those boundaries. I felt like it was being said without it being said, but just to be clear. And look, there's even a tiger here. Sacred boundaries. And wasn't I talking about a caged tiger? Yeah. We also have a letting go card. I might pick one or two depending on the message. For my pile 4. Okay, there's one. And this is the image for those of you who need to see it, because I really do love these cards. They're beautiful. Let go of the old tales and write your own adventure story. Yeah, you're rewriting a specific chapter of your life, because I feel like when you were living it, you were not seeing it as it was. But now looking back at it, you realize exactly what it was. And in rewriting that, it's going to help you better focus where your energy is going and what kind of person you want to become. We also have this card. Very beautiful cards. I love these. A river of love flows through you when you let go. Yeah, the love is going to flow through you. It's going to look different to everybody, but it's love nonetheless, even if it's just self-love and love for your family here. We also have the Rose Oracle. I'm going to get 2 cards from here. We have Healing is happening. You're not broken. Trust the process. It's safe to soften. Yeah, it's an intense amount of healing that you are doing within this era right now, within this identity that you are going to embody. Just know it's not permanent. Whatever you're going through, it's not permanent. You will eventually soften again. I'm just seeing a tortoise retreating back into its shell, and it's very cute. But tortoises aren't meant to stay within their shells. They will eventually come back out and, go along their way. We also have the Sun. Joy, enjoyment, life source, success, vitality, and play. I see nothing but good things after this particular chapter in your life, pile 4. And I can tell you're going to be a much more confident person regardless. And you're just going to be so different. People are not going to be able to recognize you, quite honestly. Like, I can see people running into you and not even knowing who you are because of how much you've changed. But you're going to take this as a compliment. Like, you're going to take them not realizing who you are as a compliment, because you know that the old you was not even somebody you truly resonated with, or somebody that you were comfortable being. So take that as it resonates, of course. But this is where I leave you, my beautiful pile 4. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next reading. Take care.